Picture a nation with geography so wildly improbable. One national park dwarfs Switzerland, a river flips its flow daily, and massive ocean vessels cruise thousands of kilometers far inland. You'll find drifting islands, untamed horses roaming dynamic sandbars, lakes nestled within islands that sit in even larger lakes, plus a magnetic pole that's straight up bolted. Welcome to Canada. Peel back the layers, and it stops resembling a mere country, transforming into a full-blown world concealed within borders. Discover 25 genuine facts revealing why Canada could be Earth's most astonishing geographic wonderland. Fact 1. Canada's southernmost mainland spot aligns perfectly with Rome's latitude. Folks often picture the country locked in eternal ice, yet Point Pelee in Ontario matches the latitude of Rome, Italy, and Northern California. That positions a chunk of Canada south of Detroit, Michigan, and farther south than portions of 27 U.S. states. The park there hosts a Carolinian forest ecosystem mirroring the American Deep South, thriving right in Canada. Fact 2. Canada boasts a national park surpassing Switzerland in size. Wood Buffalo National Park, spanning northern Alberta and the Northwest Territories, measures 44,807 square kilometers. By contrast, all of Switzerland spans just 41,285 square kilometers. A lone Canadian park thus outstrips a whole European country and ranks as Earth's second-largest national park. Fact 3. A beaver dam in Canada visible from orbit. Deep within Wood Buffalo National Park lies the planet's biggest beaver dam, extending 800 meters, over half a mile, end to end. Satellite photos uncovered it, as the remote wilderness blocks any road or path access. It impounds roughly 70,000 cubic meters of water, forming a huge pond upstream, and it's prominent enough to spot on Google Earth from space. Fact 4. Canada features a massive freshwater island packed with its own lakes. Manitoulin Island in Ontario's Lake Huron ranks as the world's largest lake island at 2,766 square kilometers, bigger than Luxembourg. The weirdness amps up. This island holds 108 separate freshwater lakes. 1. Lake Mindamoya even shelters its own island, Treasure Island. Canada thus owns an island within a lake on an island in a lake. Fact 5. Canada hosted the magnetic North Pole's discovery, but it's fleeing fast. In 1831, British explorer James Clark Ross pinpointed the magnetic North Pole, the spot all compasses seek, on the Boothia Peninsula in present-day Nunavut, Canada. It lingered in Canadian soil for more than 100 years, until the 1990s when it started speeding up dramatically. By the early 2000s, it hurtled toward Russia at speeds hitting 55 kilometers annually, unseen before in records. The magnetic North Pole has fully exited Canadian territory, barreling toward Siberia. Fact 6. Canada hides a waterfall that dwarfs Niagara. While Niagara Falls grabs global fame, Virginia Falls lurks in the Northwest Territories' Nahanni National Park Reserve, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It plunges 96 meters straight down, nearly double Niagara's height, and stretches 259 meters across. Fact 7. A Canadian river runs backward twice daily. In St. John, New Brunswick, the St. John River empties into the Bay of Fundy via a tight rocky channel. Low tide sees it gush seaward as usual, but the bay's epic tides, surging to 16 meters, overwhelm it completely, forcing the river upstream. This reversal strikes twice each day, year-round, dubbing it the Reversing Falls, one of Earth's rarest tidal spectacles. Fact 8. Churchill, Manitoba, rules as the world's polar bear hub, but it's roadless, perched on Hudson Bay's southwest edge, about 1,000 kilometers north of Winnipeg. This town draws around 1,000 polar bears to its shores every October and November. They await the bay's freeze to chase seals on ice, creating one of the planet's highest bear densities and the polar bear capital title. The kicker? No roads lead there. No highways link it to mainland Canada. Access demands a plane or train. Fact 9. Canada has a highway spanning coast to coast. The Trans-Canada Highway runs 7,821 kilometers from St. John's, Newfoundland, on the Atlantic to Victoria, British Columbia, on the Pacific. It stands among the world's longest national roadways. Driving the full length non-stop at 100 kilometers per hour without any stops would still require more than 78 hours, over 3 straight days behind the wheel. Fact 10. Vancouver Island dwarfs Belgium in size. Folks often picture Vancouver Island as a nice seaside spot, but it actually spans 31,285 square kilometers, outpacing Belgium's 30,528 square kilometers. Belgium stands as an independent nation, home to 11 million residents, while Vancouver Island supports about 870,000 people. Fact 11. Canada boasts active sand dunes. Way up in northern Saskatchewan at 59 degrees north latitude, north of London, England, you'll find Athabasca Sand Dunes, Provincial Wilderness Park. These represent the northernmost active sand dunes anywhere, extending more than 100 kilometers along Lake Athabasca's southern edge. Fact 12. Canada's inaugural national park came before nearly all others globally. Alberta's Banff National Park opened in 1885, holding the title as Canada's oldest. Back then, the idea of safeguarded national parks was just a decade old worldwide. Banff ranked as only the third ever, following Yellowstone in the U.S., 1872, and Australia's Royal National Park, 1879. Today, it draws over 4 million visitors annually. Fact 13. Canada's boreal forest ranks as Earth's biggest unbroken forest system. Known too as the taiga, this vast woodland blankets almost 270 million hectares from Yukon clear to Newfoundland. It remains the planet's largest remaining intact forest ecosystem, accounting for 30% of the globe's total boreal forests. It holds more carbon than tropical rainforests and purifies water for millions across Canada. Fact 14. Peyto Lake displays a hue that defies natural expectations. Nestled in Banff National Park, Peyto Lake glows with an intense turquoise blue so striking it seems photoshopped in pics. That vibrant shade is entirely genuine, thanks to glacial rock flour. Fact 15. Sable Island is a drifting sandbar 300 kilometers out in the Atlantic, teeming with wild horses. Roughly 300 kilometers southeast of Nova Scotia lies Sable Island, a hook-shaped sandbar about 42 kilometers long, but no wider than 1.5 kilometers. It constantly shifts due to ocean currents. Over 400 years, it's wrecked more than 350 ships, dubbing it the Atlantic's graveyard. Remarkably, around 500 feral horses roam this isolated, moving spit with zero predators or human oversight. Fact 16. Nature sculpted a sleeping giant by Thunder Bay. Off Lake Superior's shore near Thunder Bay, Ontario, the sleeping giant formation emerges from the water. From afar, the broad mesa and nearby ridges outline a huge reclining figure, a giant at rest. Composed of billion-year-old stone, it towers 240 meters over the lake. Fact 17. Canada experienced a volcanic blast that claimed 2,000 lives. Though not known for volcanoes, around 1700 CE, the Seax Cone vent in today's northwestern British Columbia blew, unleashing lava into the Nass River Valley. It obliterated Nisga'a villages, and records plus geology confirm about 2,000 Nisga'a perished. Canada's worst recorded natural catastrophe. Fact 18. Ocean vessels can cruise 3,700 kilometers deep into Canada's interior. Since 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway's locks, canals, and channels let seagoing ships journey from the Atlantic to the Great Lakes' western tip, 3,700 kilometers from the coast. A freighter from Europe could unload right in Duluth, Minnesota, far inland. Fact 19. Niagara Falls got shut down once. On June 12, 1969, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers pulled off a feat by halting Niagara Falls. They rerouted all the Niagara River's water through the Canadian Horseshoe Falls, leaving the American Falls bone dry for 5 months and revealing the underlying rock. Fact 20. The Northwest Passage, long a deadly dream, is now passable. For ages, adventurers perished seeking a sea path via Canada's Arctic islands, the Northwest Passage. The ice proved too dense, erratic, and lethal. Roald Amundsen managed the first full crossing in 1906, but it cost him 3 years. Fact 21. Permafrost blankets almost half of Canada's landmass. Nearly half of Canada's land is covered by permafrost, soil that stays frozen throughout the year, reaching depths of several hundred meters in places. In areas of the Northwest Territories and Nunavut, it plunges as deep as 600 meters. This icy layer holds vast quantities of ancient organic carbon. Fact 22. The caribou migration in this region ranks among the world's biggest wildlife treks. Each year, hundreds of thousands of these animals journey up to 5,000 kilometers round trip across northern Canada, from winter forests to summer calving sites on the Arctic tundra, one of Earth's largest overland migrations. Fact 23. Canada boasts its very own Loch Ness Monster. Ogopogo dwells in Okanagan Lake, British Columbia, making it the country's most renowned lake monster. The Syilx Okanagan people, who've inhabited the lakeside for millennia, knew it as a lake demon, viewing it as a mighty and perilous water spirit. Fact 24. Canada ranks near the top globally for forest coverage. It manages about 347 million hectares of woodland, the third largest expanse worldwide behind Russia and Brazil, accounting for roughly 9% of the planet's total forests. In contrast to Brazil's heavily threatened woods, Canada's remain mostly pristine wilderness. Fact 25. One Canadian city straddles 2 provinces simultaneously. Lloydminster lies right on the Alberta-Saskatchewan border, with its streets, structures, and residents existing in both provinces at once. Thanks to the province's differing time zones and regulations, the city follows distinct rules on either side. Canada's landscape defies simple lists. Each discovery uncovers several more in its wake.